Hello and welcome to Jessie Bear Book Club, the only book club where we don't always talk about books, but today we are. We are going to be discussing Tai Pan by James Clavell. Tai Pan is a 1966 novel written by James Clavell about European and American traders who move into Hong Kong in 1842 following the end of the First Opium War. It sounds a little dull on paper, and I was hesitant to read it because of that discrimination, but oh my god, this book is the best thing I have read since A Song of Ice and Fire. It is such a big book that this is going to be more of a character study than a normal review, and there will be some spoilers, so strap in and here we go. The main character of this book is Dirk Stroon, the Tai Pan and ruler of the Noble House Trading Company, the biggest trading company in China. Dirk gives me Tywin Lannister vibes. That man is taking care of business. He is even a red blonde with green eyes. Always the smartest and most ruthless man in the room. He is also kind on occasion. He is kind to Mei, his mistress, and to Scragga's boys, Fred and Bert. If anything, Dirk's only failing as a character is that he is too perfect. Every decision he makes works out in his favour, apart from in the end, which we'll get to, but he is quintessentially your leading man, and I think he could have done with getting a few more things wrong to deepen his character, but that's just my own personal opinion. Our second character is Tyler Brock, owner of the second biggest trading company in China, and Dirk Stroon's sworn enemy. Tyler is very similar to Dirk, but he's had bad Josh, which is what they call luck in this story. There but the grace of God goes Dirk, but Tyler has a cruel streak which has been suppressed in Dirk, I feel, but he also has a very loving streak when it comes to his daughters, so he's Dirk, but two extremes. I'm amazed that he is still alive when we read Gaijin. Tyler Brock is a survivor through and through. Our third leading man is Callum Stroon, Dirk's son, and the future Tai Pan of the noble house. He is a young buck with a lot to learn, but he's intelligent, though naive, putting his trust in his family's mortal enemies, the Brocks. He decides to marry Tess Brock and becomes friends with Tyler's heir, Gorth Brock. When Callum was rolled in the whorehouse, it was almost bound to happen because it's a learning curve, but I was very glad Callum didn't catch the pox, and it brings Dirk and Callum closer together. Callum, in my opinion, is nowhere near as intelligent as his father, but you really see him grow during the typhoon, helping Tess and Captain Glessing after he loses his arm. The book ends with Callum becoming Tai Pan and his bright future ahead of him. I was so sad when I found out when reading Gaijin, the follow-up, that Callum died a raving alcoholic who'd nearly run the noble house into the ground, leaving everything to be taken care of by his wife, Tess. The fourth character we are going to have a look at is Gorth Brock, Tyler Brock's son and heir, and what a villain Gorth Brock is. The bit where he tricks Callum, his little sister's fiancé, into maybe getting the pox made me hate him, and when he beats the poor prostitutes, that was just horrible. But Gorth does possess a low cunning and is very streetwise, and I think that would have maybe worked if his father, and especially Dirk Stroon, weren't so intelligent. But with those two men in charge, Gorth was never going to rise through the ranks. He was bound to die, either at Dirk's hand or maybe even his father's if he'd crossed the old man Brock. I've said before on this channel that I love a well-written villain, and Gorth Brock is nearly perfect in that regard. Now let's meet our first female character, Mei, Dirk Stroon's Chinese mistress. I love Mei so much. She is so smart and kind. She is especially kind to poor Mary St. Clair. Mei's way of looking at the world is unique, and she is fiercely loyal to Dirk, even though hers was an arranged marriage. When Mei organizes the assassination of Gorth Brock, I love her character even more. Mei is so kind in a roundabout way, when she brings in the second concubine for Dirk because she has got sick and thinks she might die. I think she brought in this second concubine to continue Dirk's education in Chinese ways and look after her children if she were to die and bring them up in the correct way, as she would see it. The next character we are going to meet is Gordon Chen, Dirk Struan's Eurasian son by a Chinese mistress, not Mei Mei. Gordon Chen is the secret head of the first Hong Kong triads. He is Dirk's true son, in the sense that Gordon is more like his father when compared to Callum. Gordon is fiercely intelligent, and that really shines through. I am not surprised that Gordon Chen's descendants are still ruling the Hong Kong triads when we get to Gaijin. Let me introduce our second female character, Tess Brock, daughter of Tyler Brock and eventual wife of Callum Struan. Apart from Tess losing her virginity to a sailor early in the book and then putting it behind her because her father murders him when she falls in love with Callum, she is kind of a blank page. But this works because in the follow-up to this book, Gaijin, set 30 years later, Tess Brock has become a force to be reckoned with. The third female character, and one of my personal favourites in this book, is Mary St. Clair, the secret English prostitute and devoted spy of Dirk Struan. Mary is one of the most intriguing characters in this book. Her backstory is so dark. Her father's abuse was bad enough, but the incest with her brother was truly shocking. And when Mary discovers that she is pregnant and doesn't know who the baby daddy is, I really felt for her trying to procure an abortion. The fear Mary feels about the whole situation is very real, and when Mary gets engaged to somebody sweet to cover her back, she is worried that he will find out that she is not a virgin. And Mei Mei helps her with that. And I was all, look at those two. They're besties. Mary being pimped out by her ama, pretty much her nanny, made me feel really bad for her. I was so happy when her rapist, incestuous brother was blown away during the typhoon and killed. He's never seen again. Now for the final character I chose to write about, Captain Scragga, pirate and negotiator for Wu Fang Choi, the Pirate King. Scragga's family line is mentioned and you get to meet his two sons, Fred and Bert. They are also brought up again in Gaijin. Scragga cares for his sons in his own rough manner, and I think underneath it, Scragga is a decent man who the world has really messed over. Scragga's death shocked me, and I've read a lot of books and I'm not easily shocked. Scragga being dismembered limb by limb, then blinded, then having his tongue cut out, was so cruel. I was so happy that Dirk put him out of his misery. Scragga did not deserve that death. I'm glad his children continued to be successful in the later books. This book ends with an amazing love scene during the typhoon. I give this book 10 out of 10. My only real complaint was that Dirk Struan was too perfect. He should have had a few more character flaws, in my opinion. But for the first time in a long time, this book shocked me. I've read so much that sometimes I can see a plot twist coming before it happens. So having a book that can actually shock you is just brilliant. There is a movie based on this book called Tai Pan, but it has bad reviews. It's from the 1980s. Maybe I'll watch it and do a review or a rant. We'll see. Like this video, leave a comment, and make sure to subscribe because I am going to have another little review / character study coming out for Gaijin very soon. Thank you and bye!